know the way.
I don't know the way.
I know the
but
way.
You can follow us. We don't have Ebola, but we know the way. Come follow me in the nerd news story that we're going to cover. And this season, we're changing up the formula on how we deliver the news. The real world's news is depressing, but these news topics are amazing. I'm Soheil. I'll be hosting this part of the show, and we're going to have a great time. So let's start with some nerd news topics.
Nerd confessions. Nerd news.
Netflix Bright draws 11 million viewers in the first 3 days. Nielsen says. William hates Nielsen, but we'll talk about it.
I fucking hate Nielsen.
It's also been, we'll also find out that they also will be getting a sequel. So we'll go into this real quick. So the season 2's final podcast, we talked about Bright, the Netflix original movie, and we also found some news for that. And then one of the parts that I just talked about was 11 million people that watched it in the first 3 days. So let's do some extrapolation to see what that would mean in the box office sales. In 11 million people that watch the movie, let's equate that to some math at $10 a pop for a movie ticket. That's $110 million for the first 3 days. So with this speculation, that's some big money. Yeah. Well, I'm just giving $10. I'm not.
Will that actually equate to like actual Netflix money? I don't think so. Right?
No, it's not Netflix money. But I'm just throwing it out there as in if it was released into a theater, this is what it would draw.
Right.
That is just speculation. It could be much less because it was a free movie. We don't know. This is speculation that some big money for it to be released in theaters. That would be sitting right above Toy Story 3 at the 38th place. So it would be above Toy Story 3 for the box office opening weekend, which is pretty big.
And it would be better than Justice League.
Yeah, it would be much better than Justice League. It would bump Toy Story down.
Wait, didn't Wonder Woman do like 111 million?
Yeah, this would be around the same.
Almost on Wonder Woman level.
The Toy Story did 108. So,
wow.
So Toy Story 3. Then that's the older, so it's okay.
It's still pretty impressive, though. I mean,
yeah.
11 million views for their first like movie.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. So according to Nielsen, the movie is skewed to a younger audience. On the demo side, Bright's first 3 days drew an average minute crowd of 3.9 million viewers aged 18 to 34 and 7 million in 18 to 49. So, I mean, there's some cross there. I don't understand how that freaking works. They went and put 18 to 34 and 18 to 49. So why didn't they do 34 to 49?
Because Nielsen's bullshit.
So that sucks. And
they're doing this because Netflix doesn't want to release the real numbers. And this is the same Nielsen system that we have for TV.
Yeah.
So it's based off a small amount of people that they equate to a larger group.
Right.
Which is bullshit.
Small
because on the internet you can get exact numbers. And they're just doing this because they want to have some sort of number out there and have some sort of leverage in the internet business as well. Which they have no business butting their heads in because we get exact numbers on the internet.
Right. Which is interesting to see why. Interesting to see that they extrapolated some data, but they said that 56% of the people that watch this movie were males, which is not. I would say would be the market they're going for, kind of.
Yeah. So that's the fact that it's almost 50-50 is pretty
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people share each other's Netflix? I don't know. I know my mom watches my mom watches mine, so I think she probably watched it on mine. She'll say the male watched it. All right. Because of the high viewership, the movie also is confirmed to get a sequel. They have a unique way of teasing the sequel, which they got some people in orc costumes.
Well, it was already confirmed before, wasn't it? Or
it was. This is how they confirmed it. So if you want to go to the third link,
yeah, it was confirmed before it was even like the ratings.
So announcement, they didn't even do it. They just announced this. So here it is.
Is it okay? It's not streaming as fast as it should.
Yeah. Hi.
So anyway, they have two people that aren't actors that are going to be in orc costumes. They want to be Will Smith.
Really want to be.
And they really want to be a part of the movie.
Uh-huh.
So this is basically what they're talking about. So then at the end, there's a little teaser that says there is...
Dude, you can straight up see he's wearing a mask on his head, and then he just put like contacts in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can see his neck, like where the mask ends. It's just like a literally...
shirt, pretty much.
There's a lot of these people on Instagram and all around the place. I saw an orc in the Canadian police officer costume.
Well, that's
the one with the hat, the Mountie one.
That's
the
red
red jacket and stuff. So there's a lot of these orc people running around. I guess it was for hiring, or
yeah, I think it's just like goofing around. But we don't need to watch it. So at the end, Netflix says we confirm there's a sequel. And this is a Netflix official post on Twitter. So what do you guys think the sequel is going to be about? And are you surprised the numbers that people are watching Bright?
I'm not surprised. I mean, considering that, Will Smith is in it, so obviously that's going to be the biggest pull. And then it's like a weird concept, so everyone's going to be like, what the...
So what do you think the sequel is going to be?
I think it's just going to go... I hope it goes into more of the lore and what the hell the world's all about. Because we didn't learn shit. Other than there's a shootout and there's a wand. That's it.
Graffiti in the beginning and like...
I want to know that story, that graffiti montage of what's supposedly happening.
You kind of learn a little bit of it, but it's not too much. Ellie,
you don't get too much.
What do you think? You think it's going to be... What is the sequel going to be about? And were you surprised that 11 million people watched it in the first 3 days?
I wasn't surprised people watched it. It has Will Smith in it. I think they did their job, of driving or getting people to watch. And I think aliens will come in.
Okay, I think that's pretty probable. So, Will, what do you think?
You think that without Will Smith, people wouldn't have watched? Maybe not as big.
I don't think it would have big of a draw.
Too much star power there.
I mean, if you think about it, Netflix already has a really good following. You know, ooh, Netflix, let's watch Netflix. Oh, there's this movie with Will Smith for Netflix. It's like, it was weird to think that there's a Netflix movie, a movie that's not in theaters with Will Smith, but in Netflix.
No, it released in theaters too.
It released some theaters.
Some theaters.
No, but I get what you're saying.
Just enough to be eligible for the Oscars, right?
Something.
You gotta get in there.
So I understand what you're saying, Ellie, because it's like a big feature film with a A-list star coming out on on like a streaming service. It's like
for a movie that's not necessarily streaming or showing in regular theater.
I think our first experiment in this was The Interview. Remember The Interview was kind of like supposed to be in theaters, and it failed, and they didn't release it, and then it came out to Netflix,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the numbers kind of flopped because people thought it was a bad movie or something, but it wasn't really. It wasn't bad, but it was the first test in A-star power and streaming. Go ahead, Will.
I think that I'm not. If it's 11 million people, I am not that surprised because it's like Ellie said, a A-list movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would it be B kind of?
Yeah.
But what I'm really interested to see is if Netflix actually releases their viewership and how that compares to this Nielsen rating.
That'd be pretty fun to see.
That's what I'm curious about.
And then whole extrapolation about the ticket sales. I mean, you can also say, when I was talking about that earlier, is that doesn't mean that 11 million people would have watched it if they had to pay for it.
It's true.
So you may have said, if I had to pay for this, I'm not watching it. Or you could have had a lot more people watching it because it was more widely available. So we don't know. All right. Next bit of news.
You don't know the way.
They're making a scary movie about the scariest freaking video game I've ever played.
It's finally coming out. Finally.
It's tall, thin person in a suit, and it's Slender Man. Let's watch it.
That goes after children.
And has actually caused deaths in real life.
Yep.
Kind of.
No, it has.
Yeah.
Children have been killing children.
In his name.
Yeah.
Just the story of it. Originated as a creepypasta, right?
Yeah. No, it originated about an art piece. I'll explain it.
People don't just disappear.
So in a forest.
Kid looking at artwork.
Well, it originates from pictures, right?
Yeah.
So
smoke coming from them downstairs. Some person crying. This person crying. A girl screaming in the bed with curly hair. It looks like she just took a fat shit.
I don't know what to think so far.
It doesn't follow what I know of Slender Man, but
I haven't seen anything Slender Man yet at all. Why did she grow her hair all long?
What was her hair? Why was her blood green?
That's weird.
That wasn't interesting.
I haven't seen one note yet. Oh,
There you go.
that doesn't look Slender.
There's a little bit of the fog around him.
Does she have a note? He didn't look anything like Slenderman.
He wasn't wearing a suit.
It wasn't like a suit. It was just like an alien looking thing.
This could be just the beginning of it.
And then he gets a suit.
And then he gets a suit. Upgrade.
Or that, where they butchered him. Because he doesn't look as slender as he did before.
I don't know what this is. This looks like some shicey ass ring stuff.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I think it's artsy. I like it.
Right, Slender Man. The title card is there, and it's all hairy. So, all right, let me go into this. So, you've been, if you've been living under a video game rock, here is what is Slender Man is. Slender Man is also known as Slenderman. Is a fictional supernatural character that originated as a meme.
Slenderman.
That's what it says, Slenderman and Slender Man. It was also created by Something Awful Forums by user Eric Kunzen, also known as Victor Surge. In 2009, is depicted as a thin, unnaturally tall man with featureless head and face, wearing a black suit. Stories of the Slender Man commonly feature him stalking and abducting or traumatizing people, particularly children. Do you think it'll be scary? What do you guys think?
It looks, looking at this trailer, it looks more like they're just going with what Slenderman does to someone's psyche, and they're all like going insane.
Yeah, more than the actual action of snatching.
Yeah, I think it's just going to turn into like, it's going to be a myth the whole time.
Right.
And he's not actually a thing. It's a figment of everyone's imagination or some shit.
I think the video game pulled off his look better than this movie.
It did. I agree with you.
The video game made me.
I think it was fucking scary. I don't know who was playing it. I remember I watched it. I was like, this is scary.
Honestly, I was more scared of in the game because of the way he would creep up on you. Because you're like, oh, he's moving closer.
Yeah, he was a lot more slender and tall, too.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be scary. I think it's going to try to pull some montages off of The Ring with psychological fear.
Yeah, no, I felt very Ring when her hair was all long and she was in that bathtub.
I don't know what they're trying to explain. Maybe they're trying to do some history, forward, backward. We don't know.
There is no history, though. That's the thing.
No, I know. I'm just saying they're trying to build a history for him.
Oh,
you know
I see.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to give I don't know if they went to the creator, Eric Kunzen or something, or Victor Surge, or whatever he wants to be called, and see if he has a history. I just think that it's going to be something they're going to extrapolate. I know some kids killed some other kids over this guy, so it's kind of weird.
Eric, I didn't go on and copyright his Slender Man.
Yeah, he didn't copyright it, so
should have.
He should have.
You could have made a lot right now.
He could have, and he should have. And that's it for the Slenderman. I'm tired of this guy. He's too slim.
Do you know the way?
I don't know the way.
So, next piece of news. The Nintendo Switch becomes the fastest selling home video console of all time in the U.S.
Ooh.
So that comes from the Business Wire. The Switch has become the fastest selling home video game system in the U.S. history. The home console that players take wherever they go launched in March 3rd, 2017, and in 10 months has sold more than 4.8 million units in the United States. According to Nintendo's internal sales figures, this is the highest total in history, surpassing Nintendo's own Wii system, which was the previous record holder for more than 4 million units sold during the same time frame. William's favorite Nintendo employee, Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Yeah. My body's ready.
Nintendo America's president and COO says fans across the country will have experienced the joy of playing their favorite games at home or on the go. And he says that he's excited for what is in store for 2018 for the Switch. So,
which is going to be like a dry season. I don't think they're going to have very many announcements this year.
I don't know. He said something about 2018.
Hopefully, he's correct.
I'm afraid that because he said something effective that because the holiday season came around and a lot of people picked up Switches, that they are excited to see what comes on the 2018 season. I'm hoping that Smash Brothers comes out. That would be a huge launch.
Oh, that would be amazing.
They
I would
pretty
love
much said
Smash
it would
Brothers.
be kind of before the Switch launched, so I'm surprised it hasn't yet. But yeah,
2018, if that comes out, it'll be killer.
Yeah, I would definitely pick it up.
So
again.
waiting for. I would,
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be a lot more fun. I hope they allow you to use the D-pad.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't know.
Because they did not allow it on the DS for some reason. I don't know why. It makes me mad just thinking about it.
Oh, because of the stick? You'd rather use the stick? Yeah.
Don't break anything.
No, I'd rather use the D-pad than the stick. On the stick,
I know. They only use a stick,
yeah.
I mean, I never use a D-pad personally because I kind of have slippy fingers, but I get more grip on the stick. I don't know why.
I like the stick.
But anyway, so that's
I feel like I'm gonna break it.
He said he's excited about 2018. We all bought Switches here. Actually, I was one of the people that didn't want to get one, but Tommy forced me to get one.
I literally dragged his ass into a GameStop, and he's like, "I don't want to. How much? Okay, here you go."
So I kind of led into one of my questions, but let me first start with this question. Let's start with Tommy and move back to Will. Did you think this would be the best-selling system when you got it?
No.
Yes.
Yes, and William.
I didn't think it'd be the best selling because like even the Wii U was sold out.
Actually, no.
I usually look at like VG charts, which was usually pretty accurate, but they haven't been getting good numbers for a long time.
Nintendo has been kind of asleep to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've just not been up there since like the old place, the old Nintendo days.
I used to like to look at VG charts and could see what games are selling what and how the console sales are doing. Can't rely on it anymore. So I feel kind of in the dark. And
let's be honest, most of the reason this sold is because of the game. The games are what's pulling it.
I really think that the system's idea was really novel. That's what I think was cool because it was like what people wanted. People like mobile gaming, right, on their phones, but this is like lackluster. You see a game on a commercial for their iPhone, and you're like, "Oh man, that's gonna be so cool." Then you download it, and it's just a paid freemium.
Yeah,
and you're really sad.
What the Wii U didn't have though is 2 killer games on the year of launch. So it launched in 2017. It launched with Zelda Breath of the Wild Game of the Year,
but so
in almost everybody's book. And also later on for Christmas time,
you got
Mario Odyssey. Yeah,
those are the 2 big numbers. But you also had a fun little games here and there that came out for it. I know that 1-2 Switch was not that great, but Splatoon
1-2 what?
1-2 Switch.
1-2.
Never heard of it.
Splatoon 2 was really fun, and we all enjoyed that a lot.
I haven't picked it up again.
I haven't touched it either.
What do you think and hope?
I actually can I say
Yeah,
something?
go ahead. Yeah.
I actually wasn't going to get a Switch. Actually, I didn't really get one. I was influenced, and I thought it was.
Was it by Will?
Yeah, and then I actually,
So me and Will caused everyone to get one.
Yeah, no, because my thoughts were like, oh, it's the new generation Game Boy. That's like just all I thought. What's the newest DS or
That's
whatever.
kind of what I considered it too. So I was like,
it is like in a way it is, but way better than I thought.
I didn't think I'd buy it at first just because I had recently bought a DS and I barely played that. But I've actually played this a lot more. My biggest thing I like about it is that the controllers are so compact that you can actually turn this into like a 4-player, which is fun because then I can share it and play with friends and family. So that's the big pull for me.
I agree with you. I agree with everyone's points.
Good. I'm glad you agree.
I think that the best part about it is the mobility, and I think it's really fun to play with friends. The only thing the commercials really send off the message when I first watch commercials is that everyone has a lot of friends like that want to play games. It's not true. Not everyone wants to play games with you when you go out.
Well, I remember when I first got, just real quick, I remember when I first got the Wii that I would take it over to people's houses and play. Now it's so much more easy to do that with this. And then part of that is the way that you get other people to buy it as well. So I think they had that going for it too.
And it was pretty cool. What do you guys hope to see in 2018?
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, and what else? What?
I want to see a James. I want to see a James Bond game, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not really a shooter game
Since 007.
I want Red Steel 3.
Oh, that's crazy.
I want to think of a good one. Hold on.
A new Donkey Kong Country?
No, fuck that. I hate those. They're so hard to play.
We got a Kirby game on the way.
Oh yeah, Kirby.
But that's already confirmed.
I'm sorry. Did I offend you?
You just said Donkey Kong was shit. This is a good game.
I know it's a good game, but it just frustrates me because I never.
Donkey Kong Country was good.
I couldn't pass it.
That's your
For
problem.
me, honestly,
I
Smash Brothers would be the best.
Kirby and then a single shooter game.
Okay,
Like
sounds
a
like
good
All right, moving on.
Like a este.
What the hell is Este?
It's the way.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
hey. So next piece of news. Let's do this.
More Spanish than he does.
You don't know the way. I know the way.
Este.
All right. So, did you get a new computer, Tommy, with an i7 chip, or was it an i5 chip?
I don't know.
All right. So you got a computer with an i5 chip or an i7 chip. So let's backdoor Tommy's computer. If you want to know Tommy's IP address, it's this. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give it to you. Whoops. That's
You
not
really
right.
don't know what you got? You got a 6700K.
How the fuck do you know that?
Because I looked at your specs a long time ago.
I mean, how do you remember that?
Is it i5 or i7? I think it's i5, right?
That's i7.
Oh, low i7.
So
What do I have in my computer?
you have a Xeon E5 something something. I don't remember the rest of it.
Oh, he doesn't rember.
Damn, but he's got
Oh.
mine down to the spec.
Let me let's get
God,
all
and
this.
He built mine.
Let's get all the creepiness of it.
You have the Xeon processors are like the names for them are really long, so it's hard for me to memorize those.
Let's get.
But it's not that difficult. His
not-
is a top Skylake processor, so it's not hard.
His is top,
The line Skylake processor, yeah.
so better than mine.
He's non cores wise.
Does that
Good
mean-
answer. Good answer.
Yours is optimized with cores, and you have 2 of them, which makes like even double cores. While his is optimized to lower cores, higher speed.
Oh,
So-
see,
You can't really compare.
his
the
is
two.
like a sumo wrestler, and yours is like a athletic wrestler. One
No,
of
that's
those
you got it
Greco-Romans.
backwards.
Mine's like a kickboxer,
Mine's-
and yours is a sumo.
Mine is more optimized for speed. How am I sumo?
No,
Because it's just that
he's
way.
like he's 8
'Cause
sumo
you're
wrestlers, while she's 12 sprinters.
There you go. All right, so when I talked about getting when I talked about Tommy's computer getting backdoored,
Sorry, 24 sprinters because she's got dual, 2
Sorry.
processors.
You said I was a speed. Why am I the sumo?
I know that's what I thought you.
I'm so fucking lost.
don't worry about it. Sumos are fast. They have really good speed at the beginning,
Could go
and then
like-
they have really good.
We're talking
start
about
speed.
hauling data.
You don't know the way.
Anyway, so
All right, so let me get back into this. So let's backdoor Tommy's computer. I mean, that's kind of weird. So let's continue. I don't want to see it again. That sounded really weird. Intel is aware of the chip's vulnerability, and when its CEO sold off $24 million in shares in company stock, do you think that is weird? I'm going to go into this. Intel CEO Brian Krisnach, I don't know how to say his name, but I'm trying my best. Krisnach sold off a large portion of his stake in the company's months after Google had informed the chip maker of a significant security vulnerability in his flagship PC processors. But before the problem was publicly known, the vulnerability, which affects processors from actually everybody, Intel, AMD, and ARM.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
AMD gets the wafers from Intel.
Yep.
I didn't know about ARM though.
ARM is also infected. Yeah, they're talking about it today on Mashable. I was reading it.
something's infected.
Yeah, all our phones are. So if anyone has an iPhone, you affected. You're affected.
Is it contagious?
Yes.
Everybody has any type of phone infected.
Yeah, any type of phone is infected.
What happens after?
Could allow malicious actors to steal passwords and other secret data, which became public this week. The disclosure has left processor makers and operating system vendors, including Intel and Microsoft, scrambling to get on top of their top of the story and patch their products. But while the public is just being informed about the security problem, tech companies have known about it for months. In fact, Google informed Intel about the vulnerability in June. Intel says the sale was pre-planned by the company CEO, but the plan was just put in place months after it learned of the chip vulnerability. Do you think this is true that the guy, the CEO, was pre-planning to sell his chips, or he did it just stock? Or do you think he just did it because he was like, oh shit, I gotta sell it before it falls?
I think they're always using some sort of insider information. I think it's obvious that he knew about it. And he was hoping it wouldn't get out until later.
Yep. The only thing I'm worried about, Tommy, is...
He probably knew about it and wanted to just patch it secretly without anyone actually noticing it was an issue, but then someone blew the whistle.
Well, you can't really patch it secretly because Google told them you need to watch out. This shit is fucked up. And then once Google told them, they said, oh, is it really? And then they went and looked, and they said, oh, yeah, it is.
Oop, there it is.
But also, here's another thing. I want to give you a little more information. Brian basically sold his shares all the way down to the minimum that he can sell them to. So he sold them down to 245,000 shares, which is that's how much he has to keep as a CEO.
Wow.
So he sold from 600,000 to 245,000.
I think it's
What?
obvious he knew something.
He'll just in case it all goes to hell, I'm just gonna.
He had to sell off his shares.
Yeah.
So Tommy, do you think would you do that in his position?
I
yes.
would. I'll be like abort
Well,
mission.
yes, I would.
Is he going to get away with it? Probably. How do you
Probably.
prove that he knew? How do you prove that?
Can't really. Unless you said he knew.
Unless it saves sources.
That's true. All right. Our last bit of news. And here it is. This is an interesting one. We got two sources. Actually, this is one source we're against from Forbes. I didn't put the source of Target being purchased. I forgot to put it in there.
Anyway.
Last bit of news / rumor. Several analysts have come forward saying that Amazon will buy Target in 2018. We also have many others coming out saying they believe that Amazon will not be purchased at all. What do you guys think? Do you think that Amazon should purchase Target, or do you think that Target should be by itself without Amazon? What do you guys think?
I think they should buy it.
Why?
So they can put cheaper products at Target for me to buy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Ellie?
No.
Why?
No. Things need to be separate. Amazon can't take over everything.
So
I agree.
I love Target. They can't do that.
So the thing I think is going to happen is
I
that
actually like Target too.
I think that Target, if Target was purchased by Amazon, you'd basically have an Amazon store. I don't think Amazon wants to go into brick and mortar stores because that would increase their costs. So I think what they really want to do is probably buy somebody that's everywhere, but not everywhere. So I think what they want to do is probably
Use them as like shipping centers.
Yeah. So I think what would be a really smart idea is for them to purchase 7-Eleven and make 7-Elevens into their mobile shops.
That'd be interesting.
Because there's a lot of them and they're everywhere.
and they're 24/7.
And they're 24/7. You can like
Dude, they
drop
should just
shipping.
buy Subways. There's more than that than anything else.
We already have
That's
those Amazon lockers that
I already had that
Are
idea,
you
Tommy,
putting them
but
in there, aren't they?
What?
I already had that idea.
Yeah, you have to go pick up your package.
Yeah, but what else they could do is they could put in a limited amount of like really popular items that are sold in your area, right? Because they can tell
Like weed?
what is popular in your area. What
I don't know.
is weed popular in your area on Amazon?
Yeah.
I guess
You can't buy that stuff on Amazon.
I don't know. I just didn't know.
You can buy like
weeds?
holders for like weed
You
smokers.
just gotta know where to find it.
So all I know is if you go,
There's a specific section.
Oh my
I'm worried about you,
God.
Ellie. You just got to know where to find it. AmazonBlack.com. So what I think is really interesting is if they went and put them in 7-Elevens, what happens if Amazon polled your local 7-Eleven and saw what everyone ordered in that area and said, okay, a lot of people here are ordering doorknobs, probably because their doorknobs are breaking. I don't know. It's a crazy idea.
So stock
That's
more
like your
doorknobs there.
neighborhood. They buy doorknobs.
my
'cause
doorknobs
everyone's
are getting
more-
broken into.
And then instead of shipping, you just go do pickup immediately.
Yeah, go pick up immediately. Like Ring doorbells, Amazon products, all kinds of crap that they sell a lot of on their site. They know what is selling the most, so they can put them in 7-Elevens everywhere. Mm-hmm. That could be a really cool idea.
That'd be better
Or
than
Subway.
buying out Target because that would scare the crap out of me. Because Target's a huge. That would suck because
You're doing
the only
that.
competition would be Walmart.
Right.
Why don't they buy off Walmart?
Because Walmart's super expensive. Walmart's
Because-
really bad.
Because they don't pay.
No, okay. So if they wanted to buy Amazon, it would be in the $60 billion mark.
You mean Target?
Target, sorry. Amazon wanted to buy Target, it would be $64 billion. They spent $30 billion on Whole Foods alone. If they went after Walmart, it would be in like the trillions.
But why?
Because Walmart employs almost a quarter of the U.S.
Are you serious? That's that many?
Yeah, that's like a big group. A
That's
quarter.
already that many?
Yeah, distribution centers, employees, corporate
Shipping.
people.
But the thing is that they don't pay them that much, so it's.
But
kind of-
that doesn't mean anything. It's just all the stock and all the land.
Hmm.
Think about that too. Like, oh, you have to buy all our stock, all our land, and all these distribution centers from us. Good luck. It's gonna be like in the $1 trillion range. Because Walmart also owns territories in Mexico, if you remember,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
own
there's a
stores
Walmart
in
in
Canada, and they own
Mexico.
stores in some other places too.
Yeah, it's big.
They may want to buy Costco. I heard that for
There's
a fact too.
Targets at Mexico.
Amazon.
Amazon's targeting Costco too, so we'll see what happens. But anyway,
They
this
can't
is really
do
cool.
that.
They can, and they.
They're gonna
It's
buy
pretty
the
scary.
world. They're
But
gonna be
the
like
problem is
Disneyland of fucking
if Amazon
retail.
buys retailers, it will be blocked because it's going to become. It will probably be blocked because people are saying, "Look, now you're buying all these other shops. When is it going to stop? Because once you're all this big, there's no competition. Just you and Walmart and maybe Costco and maybe another like mom and pop shops. There's nothing left, so they'll probably block it. We'll see what happens. Remember when AT&T tried to buy T-Mobile and they said no? It's probably like the same thing. Anyway, that's all I want to get your opinions. That's it for the nerd news this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you now know the way. We don't have Ebola, by the way.
So we're gonna live in the world of Amazon.
But that was different. The AT&T, because that's a network. You can't just open a mom and pop network.
No, what they were trying to do is they were trying to merge networks. So they said no because there's no competition. You're going to eat up all the spectrum. That there's only so much spectrum. So they said, oh, you're going to eat up all the spectrum. We can't do that. So that's why they said no. The same thing with mom and pop shops. They're going to say there is no competition. There's only this area gets serviced by a Target and Amazon only. There's no Walmart for like 10 miles. So they're going to say, okay, well, now all I have is Amazon and Amazon. So I buy from Amazon or Amazon Target. I don't have a choice.
Or you don't buy at all.
Or you don't buy at all. You just mom and pop.
And they're going to hike the prices like ridiculously high.
Yeah, they can change it. Have you ever seen shit on Amazon that are really like crazy in price? Like all of a sudden you go on there and it's like a Lego thing you're looking for. Or let's say I was looking at thermometers this weekend and they said real thermometer, $64.95. And I found it on their site for $20. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Where?
Some
what?
bad and bullshit.
I went to buy a Thermopop. It's from ThermoWorks. It was $29.99 on their site. On Amazon, it was like $64.95. Because there was a third-party reseller that was doing it. Made me angry.